What's up, guys? Just hanging out this summer, working on the website, watching some Lord of the Rings. Don't know where the cats are right now. Probably locked in the garage so they don't annoy me. But hope you are enjoying the class so far. We're going to get started with some JavaScript, which means we get to animate. All right, we need some vocabulary to get us started. So I know we're excited, like SpongeBob is here. Either that or he's just doing the best part of his life. I don't know. But you should be in your notebooks, and we are going to be on page 29. Take down some vocabulary words. All right, we got 5 words to get us started, and these are on page 29. They just have some blanks. So take a look at what you see here and fill in the blanks. So it's going to give you some time to do that. You're welcome to pause it if you need to. Words are strings, variables, constants, loops, and functions, and that should be enough to get us started. Just making sure you were awake. All right, let's get into some examples for these.
This is the 5th time I've recorded this same video because I keep messing up. Sorry, a little angry. All right, let's look at some examples of the definitions you just took. So a string is a set of characters, not like Disney characters in a movie or something like that, but characters as in like the letter B or M or Z or Y. Those are characters, a question mark, exclamation mark. So what we used to call glyphs, those are called characters, and a string is a set of them. So for example, let's say we write a program, a code that we want to ask the user their name. So when they type their name in, it's going to be a series of characters, which we call a string, and we put it in quotation mark. So all strings are in quotation marks because they're a word, usually, something being said. So a variable is something that we're going to use in the program that could continuously change. Maybe only change once, maybe change 1,000 times. We don't know. But an example would be this. We would call out a variable by saying var. We would name the variable whatever we want, and then we would set it equal to whatever we want to start at. So maybe we want it to be equal to a letter, a placeholder. Just say, hey, we'll set it equal to x right now until we know something else. Or we could initialize it to 0. We could say, well, just start out at 0 and then keep on adding or subtracting. Or we can set it equal to maybe the input from the user. So maybe the user is going to type in something and we want it to store the variable in that location. So it could be a lot of different things, and we'll get into that. Constants are something that either the user can put in or we can put in that we know isn't going to change for the duration of the program. For example, let's say we're making a guessing game. Like it says, hey, user, guess a number, and the user types in a number as a guess. Well, that's not going to change. They can't like redo their guess. So whatever they guess is going to be the same throughout the entire program. So in that case, we wouldn't call it a variable. We would call it a constant. And for whatever reason in programming, in at least JavaScript, they don't abbreviate it. We would give it a name. In this case, it's our guessing game. So we'll call it guess. And we'll set it equal to whatever we want. So maybe it will be the input again, or we could set it equal to 5 or pi or something, whatever. Doesn't matter, depending on the program we want to do. Well, I guess it matters, but for whatever program you're doing. All right, loops. Loops is a sequence of instructions that is going to happen over and over and over again. So for example, let's say we have a game where we want something to just continuously run until like we die. So for example, this game right here where you like have to bounce off these things and tap the screen and not fall into the middle or hit any black balls. There's a loop running that's saying, hey, keep on going, keep on playing until he dies. So let me die here. Let me find a circle to hit. So it was just running the same loop over and over and over again, allowing me to play. Okay, is he dead yet? No, keep going. Is he dead yet? No, keep going. Is he dead yet? No, keep going. Until I did something that the game didn't want me to, which was hit the black center, and then I died. So a loop would be something like this. While alive, do this. So while the user is not dead, while the user is still alive, when something hasn't happened yet, do this code. Keep running this code over and over and over and over and over again. That's one example. So a function is usually what we put into loops. Not all the time, but we can, most of the time, if we're making a game, we're putting functions inside of a loop. And now a function is just a set of instructions, some procedure that we're going to use often, and maybe we just don't want to like retype it over and over again, or maybe we're going to insert that function in the different parts of our program so we don't have to retype it. So what we would do is we would just write the function somewhere in the code, say what it is, and then whenever we want to use that function, just say the function's name. So let's say we want to run a function that's going to draw all those circles on the screen. Well, let's say I have to use that function 900 times. Well, I don't want to write it over and over and over again every single time. So what I'll do is I'll just write it once, give that function a name, and then just call it by its name. It would be like me, instead of me saying, hey, you with the freckles and the 5'8" and blonde hair and blue eyes and the green shirt with the black jeans that you shouldn't be wearing because they have a hole in them. That's dress code. Get out, referral. I could just be, hey, Jenny. We just call it by the name. Okay? And so an example of that would be like some function, like we'll use this game as an example that I was playing, a function to draw circles. So draw shapes. That'd be something that we're going to want to write a function for, because we don't have to write how to draw a shape every single time we want to draw a shape, right? Or it could be something like get mouse position. Like maybe let's say we want to know where the user's mouse is or where their finger is on the screen. That would be a function we would write for get mouse position. We don't want to have to write out how to find it every time. We just want to say, hey, get the position. That would be an example of a function.